Welcome to the Bottle Terrarium. Before we do anything else, we need to know, what is a terrarium? A terrarium is an enclosed, transparent container in which plants are grown. Sometimes you'll see reptiles or aquatic animals inside terrariums, and sometimes they have different names like vivariums or biospheres. So you can do a lot of research and find lots of variations of terrariums online if you're interested. But today we are going to build a bottle terrarium. First, let's get the materials. First, you're going to need 2 or 3 empty and cleaned out 2-liter bottles. If you don't have any empty 2-liter bottles, see what empty plastic bottles you have. A lot of things could work. Then, you're going to need some water. Ooh, look at that refraction. Next, you're going to want to get scissors and or an X-Acto knife, whatever you have around. Then you're going to need a small amount of soil. I put all of mine into that cup. You're also going to need some tape and also some rocks that are kind of small, not anything crazy big. So I have some rocks there. For this type of terrarium, I'm also going to have some fish gravel. You really don't need to have this if you're not going to have any animals in it. You also need a small piece of landscape filter fabric, or a coffee filter actually works for this. And you're going to want some seeds. I'm using basil seeds. I usually use grass seeds. Grass usually grows really, really well. So whatever kind of seeds you can find or what you want to grow. All right, just a couple more things. I've got some cotton string and also a rubber band. That's what you're going to need to build this bottle terrarium. So here's the list of materials. 2 or 3 empty and clean 2-liter bottles. Remember, you can be creative and use any kind of empty, clean plastic bottle that you have around. Make sure it's okay with your people though. You need some water, soil, rocks, fish gravel, seeds, cotton string, scissors, tape, landscape filter fabric, or even a coffee filter. You're going to need some time and a rubber band. It's time to assemble the terrarium or put it together now. If you are going to do this lab, please do this outside. I did all of this inside because I was recording a video to show you. And I've also done this a bunch of times, but it's really easy to get messy. So please, please, please make sure you are completing this terrarium building outside. First, we are going to be cutting a different part of each 2-liter bottle. So watch what I say here. I say, be careful.
Be careful. Careful.
You might want to have an adult help you with this. I like to start with an X-Acto knife, and then I usually switch over to scissors. But we are gonna cut this bottle in about the halfway point. So cut that apart. I like to make sure the edges are smooth, and that is it for that first bottle here. So we're gonna go on to the second bottle now. For this one, I'm going to cut it off just like the other one, but a little bit lower this time. So you're going to be able to see that the top parts of both bottles are different size. All right, next I am going to put some of my fish gravel stone in the bottom of that tall part right there, just a little bit. And then I'm going to add the water. All right, so there is my water and my gravel. And I'm gonna take that upside down part and put it inside the 2-liter bottle. All right, do you see how that piece goes in there upside down? I think I have a little bit too much water in there, so I am gonna pour some of that out in a little bit. But we are gonna prepare that part. That is the little part where we are going to be growing our plants. All right, next I'm gonna take my string and my filter fabric, and I'm going to feed that string through the filter fabric. All right, so you're gonna be able to then put that over the opening of that bottle, and we are gonna rubber band it. And that's gonna prevent any soil from falling into our water. Put the rocks inside of there so it looks like mine. If you look closely, you can see there's string hanging out the bottom of that 2-liter mouthpiece, and also it's coming out where the rocks are. You want to have your string ends like that, because that end is going to go into the container with the water before we do anything else. Put the soil over those rocks, and then we're going to go ahead and put the seeds in there. Depending on the type of seed you use, make sure you follow the directions. Do they need to just go on top of the soil or slightly under it? Before doing the next step, please make sure that the soil is moist or slightly wet. Now decide which top you want to put back on the bottle. Do you want to use the really tall one, or maybe you're going to want to use the short one? And try to put it back on there either inside or outside the container so it's got a tight seal. And then we're going to take clear tape and tape all around it. And there you have it. That is most of our bottle terrarium. Hooray! Okay, I need to move my terrarium, but make sure you don't just pick it up at the top. You have to pick it up from the bottom. It's not sealed and it's not sturdy. And I'm gonna go ahead and take it outside because we are going to add the last item into our bottle terrarium. The last part that I'm adding is optional, but I am going to add some snails. I went and got these at the pet store, and they were about $4 for 2 of them. Derek's gonna help me put them into the terrarium. So there is the terrarium open, and we're gonna put those snails in there and put that other part back on. So our bottle terrarium is all done. It's time to put my bottle terrarium inside. Remember, when you grab it, be careful. Grab it from the bottom. Before I put my bottle terrarium in the sun, I'm going to put a paper plate down to protect it from any water leaks. All right, I've got mine all set up, and hopefully I'll be able to see some growth pretty soon. I do have our Bottle Terrarium materials here one more time, and that does have those optional snails. And you don't need to feed them because a terrarium like this is self-sustaining. That means everything in the bottle should survive and grow without additional help. But if you notice that the soil is dry, go ahead and put some water in there and help give it some moisture to help those plants grow. Finally, you need to just give it time and watch it grow. Over the years, I've made many of these with students, and they all come out a little differently. But one thing is certain, we make sure that there is enough moisture in every bottle and that they get plenty of sunlight. Some of our plants have gotten so tall that we've had to add extensions to our 2-liter bottles to be able to fit those plants inside. I've never actually created a terrarium to keep at home. I'm excited to see what kind of growth my basil gets. What do you want to grow? Remember, you can be creative with the different materials you use for this project. But whatever you do, make sure to
Be careful. Careful.
careful. Be careful. Sorry, I couldn't resist. All right, I hope you do have fun with this project and definitely show me what you create.
Alright, that's it for me. Take care.